This is actually a really useful system. It's not just plastic containers for you to put soil in and put water in. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Big Bear Homestead. So it's been almost 2 weeks since we started our big plans for 2020. And with all of the things, life getting in the way, we've kind of fallen behind a little bit on our planting schedule. Obviously, there's a lot that needs to be done in order to get stuff ready to go into the ground after the frost. Tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, that kind of thing. And so we're going to get started with that. We put together a seed starting schedule. We kind of did backwards math on how far back we needed to go to start stuff. We need to do eggplants, peppers, tomatoes, all of that stuff. So I started early this afternoon and I came across something that I didn't notice when we first showed you these seed starting systems. When we showed them to you before, we told you that we had saved these from going into the landfill. But we hadn't really opened them up and used them yet. Now, I did tell you that I'm not real crazy about the coconut fiber pellets that are in there for the seed starting. And I don't know if it's just because they were older and maybe they just weren't, they were past their use date. But even if you take the coconut fiber pellets out, this is actually a really useful system. It's not just plastic containers for you to put soil in and put water in. When I opened these up and started planting, I noticed that each one of the 72 cells or the 36 cells, whatever, they all have this thing called a plantogram. And it's really cool. You've got like A, B, C, and D. It's listed. And what's really cool about it is you can list on a grid what you planted where. Now, that could get a little confusing because, your square could move, a bunch of different ways. But they thought about that. Inside on the plastic square, in the plastic, it's etched. There'll be an A, a B, a C, and a D. And then on the outside of the tray, there's also an A, B, C, and D. And so you just match that so that all the A's line up, B's line up, and so on. So then that way, your grid, when you start to plant, your grid will match what's actually planted. So I thought that was really cool. This one, you have your 36, the squares are 36, but then they also do it for the 72 cell ones as well. It's just two 36s put together. They don't have the letters on the outside of these, so you'd have to be a little bit more creative with how you keep that labeled. But I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to share that with you just so that you could see that it's a pretty cool system. I really like these. I know that they'll probably start going on sale here pretty soon. And it's a reputable company. It's Burpee. So definitely if you have the opportunity to get some of these, they're pretty useful. I really like them. They hold the soil real well. You can water from up underneath. And they come with a greenhouse lid so that, you can kind of have like a mini greenhouse effect until everything starts to grow, and then you can take that lid off so that you don't get any kind of the green algae that grows around the soil. The other thing that I really liked about this is that if there's 36 squares here, with peppers and tomatoes, you could plant 36 plants and it wouldn't be a big deal. But if I'm starting something like rosemary, echinacea, things like that, I don't need 36 plants of those. So this grid is really helpful for that kind of situation because it's very difficult to label each individual square. So, I can do 6 of an echinacea, 6 of a rosemary, and it's all put there on that grid. And then the other thing that we did is we actually copied it, scanned it, printed it, and we've got some in our garden notebooks for future use because we obviously will recycle these and use them again. So we scanned it into our computer so that we can save it for future reference. And then we've also got a couple of hard copies that we've already copied out for the ones that we used last year, and we didn't realize that that was underneath it. So I'm kind of wondering if the paper was up underneath the tray and I didn't get it out. So maybe that's why they didn't grow very well. So I just want to share that with you, and I'm really excited about all of the planting that we're getting ready to do. I thank you for coming by the Big Bear Homestead. God bless, and have a nice day.